Shalom, Baljatetor Narvore. Welcome to the Way of the Mandalore Religious Movements podcast. Today is a continuation of our Tracy'uur firearm safety, handling, carrying, and storage topic that we started last week, 2 weeks ago. Sorry. With us, we have our usual co-host of Zel Namore and our guest
CCW.
Urge, who will be taking over the co-host spot for when Zell decides to ship off to the Navy and become one of a million seamen.
Hopefully, when I graduate, it is at roughly the high top of the class to where I will be a petty officer and not a seaman. Because I'll be honest, if I do manage that, having my father, be able to pin that rank on me would actually probably
they
make me
can't
cry.
do blood wings anymore.
Huh?
That's called, they can't do blood wings anymore. It's considered hazing.
Oh, I'm aware. But that doesn't mean he can't put it on my collar.
Oh no, that I'm not saying that.
Not to mention, my dad's retired.
Oh no, trust
So
me.
so the hazing that hazing rule doesn't apply to him.
True, that is true. So we're gonna be welcoming him into the extended family of the military and the armed services. What, in about a month and a half, give or take?
December 5th. Yeah,
Okay.
a little over a month.
Get to spend Christmas in basic training, and
Say goodbye to
no,
that lovely
I was
beard.
gonna say Thanksgiving, but no, that's after.
Yeah, I do have to get rid of this glorious beard of mine. The Redor's not happy about it.
You
Yeah,
could
no,
keep the mustache though. Doesn't
I
impede
am
your
not.
guesses.
I'm not. I'm not keeping the stash. Mm-mm. Nope. I
How
do
come
not.
on?
I do not.
Cash.
Nope. Nope. I do not.
Uh,
I do not like how I look with my stash. I can deal with just the beard and get rid of the stash. I can deal with that. Wife, not so much. I can. I cannot do the stash by itself. Nope. Mm-mm. Funny,
I can't.
funny
At
story.
least with the OT, I can pull it off in the bald look.
Funny enough, though, if y'all notice right here, this little spot where normally how do we refer to him as? The angry German man?
Your septum?
No, the angry German man.
Oh,
Hitler?
good.
Where
The Hitler stash?
yeah, where his little stash is.
Yeah, that little.
You'll notice it is very light to where I have very little hair here. I actually had point
Charlie Chaplin. There you go.
Charlie Chaplin. There you go. Much safer. It's a much
Yes,
safer.
very safe.
I was trying to remember his name. I couldn't remember it.
Yes.
It took a second.
Yes, the Charlie Chaplin stash. In high school, I would shave, but I did end up keeping my mustache because I would have it cut off at the corners of the lips. A drill sergeant during the competition deducted points because he thought I actually shaved here and nothing else.
Oh. I
But-
gotta mute real quick. My booer is calling.
Wait, your Buddha? Oh. Oh, got it. Yeah. I was like, wait a second. But yes, today's topic, while he is taking that phone call, is the. Excuse me. Well, my. Apparently, I'm a little burpy right now. Oh, excuse me. Is the training in use, proper storage, and safe handling CCW versus OCW. A continuation of the last podcast that was posted on our Spotify. And just a reminder, this podcast is working in accordance and alongside the Mandalorian religious movement, Keepers of the Way. All members on the podcast are fellow keepers. I know that's something that we are starting to add more towards the beginning of our podcasts. So I guess we can go right into it and start off with the, for now, proper storage of firearms. It did not. Verd is currently on deafen, but a proper storage of your Tracy'uurs would be, obviously a safe is always a good place to keep your excess Tracy'uurs, long arms as well, that you're not planning on having quick access. Whether it be handgun, long arm, a safe is always something good to have for the extras, as well as storage of ammunition and other things. Having a small storage safe, like a small lockbox kind of device, would also be good to have if you're planning on transferring them through a location that doesn't allow you to keep them on you, more or less, whether you have the concealed carry or license or not, or a license to carry.
I was like, you were going to say a license to kill.
Nah, not quite.
Those don't exist, as much as we would like them to sometimes.
Don't tell the CIA that. You might end up finding out otherwise.
What, that they do exist?
Specifically for special
Eminem
people.
He does exist. They do exist.
Only for special individuals. But no, that'll be a off recording topic. There was a safe company that got in a little bit of trouble recently, apparently, but that I don't feel should be talked about on the podcast. So
yeah, probably not. If it gets that political spectrum, that
I don't think it was. It's not a political thing. It's they I think it was something about like their quality wasn't up to par, like they've been known for. Kind of thing.
I got you.
Yeah, if it was political, I wouldn't even brought it up in the first place. But
Gotcha.
Having a safe in your domicile, I do recommend. However, I do also personally believe having a Tracy'uur out and easily accessible is good for shit hits the fan, home invasions and whatnot. Now, with the storage of firearms, of our Tracy'uurs, if you have kids in the household,
keep your shit locked up and secured.
Yes.
As well as training.
Train.
Have it locked up and stored all day long. They find a key, shit can still go down.
Yep. Train your, what is it, is foundlings?
Your odds.
Your odds.
Got odd.
Well, because I know different words were for different age groups.
Gar, which is your, if I remember right.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got the odd for kid. So got odd, your kid.
Mm-hmm.
Your little one. Got adika.
Yeah. Always, because your children are the next keepers of the way. Train them in proper care and maintenance of treasures.
1000%.
Teach them to respect treasures. Do not make them a mystery. The worst.
Start out with airsoft if you have to, or if you want to.
That honestly, airsoft, Nerf guns. There are some foam dart guns out there that are fairly not realistic, obviously, but good God, dude, some of them actually hurt.
No, it's still good for handling and.
Yeah, they still get the concept of handling, and you can easily teach the different. Yeah, sighting and all that, and teach them the different parts of a treasure because, for the most part, they're all the same. Got the hammer, muzzle, trigger, grip,
right,
barrel, so on and so forth. When it comes to storage, let your young ones know where it is, should it be needed, as far as like the safe goes. Don't necessarily teach them where you keep the ready access ones. Now, ready access, I will state, does not mean that it is just out in the open. There are companies out there that actually make This is for those with young ones. If you don't have young ones, by all means. If you have young ones, there are companies out there that actually have really cool, like, hiding spot.
I feel like SpongeBob right now. That's SpongeBob meme.
Yeah, the tears down the wall, points to the trash, goes outside, dumpster pile. Yeah.
But exactly how I just felt pointing around after cleaning them all.
But no, they actually have some really cool like hiding spots. Like they have these really cool like shelf looking units that have magnetic locks to them that if you put decorative items in certain locations, as I bump the mic, that have special like decorative items that trigger the locks, and it'll actually lower down, giving you access to a hidden compartment.
Yeah, the shelf. I know what you're talking about on the shelves, at least.
Mm-hmm. There's also some that have like. There's also some that have like a sliding mirror that slides open like a door. There's some tables out there that have hidden compartments of similar manners.
Want to go low tech, you can always just carve out a section between the studs, pop in a box, and then patch it back up. And just
my landlord would appreciate that.
Yeah, if you're in an apartment, definitely no. If you're renting, probably not a wise idea to do that. Now, I will say this, however. So long as you remember, if you have an outlet that you know for a fact you ain't ever going to use this, you can make a hiding spot for it using a 2x2 outlet to hold like a mini compact, like a Derringer or something. It really isn't that hard. I've actually seen someone take a section of like maybe a 12-inch by 12-inch tile, kind of carve out the grout around it, pulled it up, dug into the subfloor, and made a little hiding spot that if you had like a suction cup kind of thing, you could pull up and get access to the hidden compartment as a safe storage. But when down, you packed kind of grout-like substance around it that's easy storage, pull away,
Yeah.
resealing kind of thing.
It's like those outdoor storage things, but instead you use a 1 foot by 1 foot tile to raise up.
Yep.
Seen those too. They call them life hacks, but that's really not a that's not a hack.
That's not a life hack. No, I'm sorry. I can't even say 9 times out of 10 because it's
No.
It's rare that I actually see something that I can be like, okay, that's a hack.
You know who I'm referring to on that, right?
Yes. I see them all over my Facebook.
That bearded guy.
Oh, I see more than just him. I see more than just him all over my Facebook.
A bolt to the end of the wrench. Putting a bolt in it so you can make it. Just get the right size.
Yeah, exactly.
If you have to weld something, that's not a hack. That's fabrication.
Exactly.
Once you start getting into welding, that's not a hack anymore.
Now, I will say this. I actually did see someone for a more precise soldering. They took some wire and kind of coiled it and whatnot and placed it on a lighter. Or no, not on a lighter, but on an actual soldering iron. They took the tip out and replaced it with a sort of metal spool that kind of poked out a little bit more to be almost like the thickness of a paper clip.
Yeah,
because micro soldering is a bitch. Tech guy here.
Zelda Lore is tech. Into fabrication now. That's not a hack.
Quick fix kind of situation. Because to me, a hack can be one of two things. Something that tool doesn't quite exist exactly. Almost leans more towards fabrication. No. No. No.
There you go.
Bayoneted pistol. Contrary to popular belief, gunblades did exist.
Oh, I know.
Not.
It's kind of fucking hilarious, though.
Kind of a reason they never caught popularity, but they existed. Fantasy games like Final Fantasy.
In that case, am I bringing a gun to a knife fight or a knife to a gunfight?
Yes.
Yes.
You can't bring a knife to a gun. Oh, wait.
I forgot what company makes it, but there's a company that makes a really good ballistic knife where it's got a 22 long cartridge. And so you can like stab things and then squeeze a trigger and like an old lemon squeeze revolver.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. However, there are two things that actually popped in my head when you said that. Remember, everyone, sadly, actual ballistic knives are illegal. The ones that are like spring-loaded handles that shoot the blade out, sadly, are illegal. Another thing. Now, this is for you divers out there. Wasp knives. This is something that has like a CO2 cartridge in the hilt that divers typically would use to fend off sharks. Because what it did is you take the knife, you jab it in the body, hit the button, and it just releases the entire 12-gram cartridge of CO2 into the creature, causing a nice big air pop. Oh no, it's literally the blade has a hollow channel through it. So it's like kind of like, they call it a wasp knife. Yes, those do exist.
Yeah, in Canada you have to have your diver's license to go and purchase one.
Yep. You only divers are legally allowed to even purchase them.
Yeah, it made me sad that day.
Like, I want to purchase this. Okay, diving license, please.
Fuck. Let's see.
Like, I don't have one of those. Well, you can't buy it. Sorry, man.
I'll be honest, going into the Navy, I might look into getting my diving license. I wouldn't mind being a Navy diver. Fucking rough as heck for the Seabees, but...
Yeah. The Army Corps of Engineers for the Navy.
I mean,
Just do a lot more. Just do a way lot more than that. It's like, oh, you want something built? Okay, give us gum, tape, and a paperclip.
They MacGyver
We'll MacGyver you something.
the Seabees.
Like, oh, you want something destroyed? Yeah, we can do that too.
The Seabees. Military's MacGyvers. The MacGyver of the military.
Yes.
So what would you recommend, say, for like long-term storage?
Long-term...
Some kind of case or safe?
I would... a lockbox or safe that has a felt-like lining to it. If you...
somewhere that will save you from moisture.
Yes. Getting a... Ooh, I'm getting echo. Your mic's picking up your speaker.
Whose?
Yours.
Okay.
I was gonna say... Dirge is on push to talk.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Which, when you do take over as the co-host, we will get that rectified to where you do not need the PTT.
No problem. That'll be good change.
But yes, if you can get a bunch of those like silica packets, like what you find the silicone packets that are in like the beef jerky, your shoes, those those
things that are not chiclets.
Yeah, the extreme chicle, the non-chicle packets. If you get something of that nature, I know they actually sell some pretty decent sized bags of those. Toss a couple in the safe will help with your moisture control.
You can also buy, I've got some, I'll show you, what I use when I restore my 3D filament.
I mean, some of my elders used to, when they would long-term pack their guns, they would like usually disassemble them. And then like, I can't remember the type of oil they'd use, but it was always a pain in the tuchus to get off.
Yes, that is another thing, and that also plays into the maintenance portion. Is if you're planning on doing long-term storage of your firearm, of your Tracy'uurs, have a decent coat of oil on them on all the metal. You good there?
Pokey stabbed me out of the safe thing. I just reach in there and it just goes. I was like, ah. The pokey got me. There we go. Let's slide that back into its.
Be mindful of sharp objects in your safe.
Packets of silica gel.
Mm-hmm. Yes, because the silica gel works wonders with absorbing moisture. Especially if you can get a safe that's rated to be airtight, which I don't think you can find any large scale safes like that anymore for safety reasons. You know, someone gets trapped. Get in the locker, nerd.
What I was looking for is not even underneath there, so I stabbed myself for no reason.
Stabbed yourself for no good reason. Let's see.
Fucking pokies.
But
stab me the next time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, basically I got those moisture gauge things. somewhere around here that'll tell me what the moisture in
a humidifier
strip, basically.
Yeah, something that's if you can get the gauge from a humidor, that'll work too.
Amazon does sell those, actually. It tells you temperature and humidity.
Mm-hmm.
I still feel
you're probably going to for a while. If you can, I mean, there are saves that even have that. But yeah, for the main thing, if you're doing a little lockbox, make sure it's felt lined. The felt is mainly to prevent nicks and scratches of the metal during the long storage, or even just movement of your Tracy'uur in the box. That's why I always recommend a felt lined, safer lockbox.
That's some good thinking right there.
Mm-hmm. Now, another thing that felt will also do is it'll actually absorb some of the oil. That it'll actually hold the oil in place, kind of. If that makes sense.
Holds the oil in place. Yes, total sense. Total sense is made.
Brain be weird. Brain no English, right? But basically, the felt being oiled helps add a layer of protection to that side of the firearm of the Tracy'uur. While it's being stored, it's not going to evaporate or dissipate as much as the rest of the gun. Now, that being said, even if you're planning on doing long storage of your Tracy'uurs, take them out after a couple months or so and go over them with cloths to clean dust and everything off of them and reapply the oil as well. Just because you put that one coating of oil on it does not mean it's good for years and years. If you're planning on doing a situation for like a bug out, I know we talked about this on an earlier podcast, but what are they called? The little pods that you can bury in the ground and store things. You know what I mean? People usually make them out of like PVC piping or like 5-gallon buckets.
Oh, dead drops or like static caches.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, like dead drops. If you're gonna have any like buried dead drops, you can actually make them big enough to hold it to shore.
I actually have to apologize. It's not really a dead drop's a different kind of thing, but it's like a similar idea. So it's more like a static cache.
Okay, more accurate. Cache. Okay, yeah, static cache then. To where all you need is to get a PVC piping big enough to that the Tracy'uur will fit in, along with whatever other supplies you need, ammo and whatnot. Throw in some silica packets. Put an end cap on one side to make sure it's nice and water sealed.
If you're of means, you can also backfill the PVC pipe before you seal it with nitrogen. It'll help it basically no corrosion.
Yeah, if you have the capability of doing vacuum sealing and then nitrogen filling, yeah.
Well, that's the beauty part with nitrogen. It's heavier than air, so as you fill up the chamber, it'll actually just naturally.
No, yeah, you got me there. Yes, totally paid attention in chemistry when it came to all that. Wasn't learning how to make nice little boom booms.
That's what me and my girlfriend have.
Anyways, but yeah, if, as he says, fill it with nitrogen, pushes out the oxygen, allows for good preservation of the items inside. I will say, I'll go into more because I think we sort of talked a bit about a future episode being going back to survivalist stuff or bug out situations.
And that would definitely go towards that.
Yeah, but considering we talk about safe storage, do make sure that it is very airtight, watertight, sealed if you're going to make one of these static drops or static caches. Because, I mean, if you're planning on putting it in the ground, another thing, take it up to your risk of choice. Put an AirTag in it. So you can always make sure you know where it is. And then bury it, a good foot underground? Half a foot to a foot?
I would just say get the real direct coordinates to it.
Well, yeah.
That AirTag, other people are going to be able to see it too.
Are they?
They can go in and search for Bluetooth devices around them. That's how people find AirTags that have been
for geocaches.
To their cars.
Oh, okay.
Especially Apple phones, like, hey, you've got an AirTag near you. Is this yours?
Okay, then yeah, if you can get your hands on a GPS system that actually gives you the coordinates.
I mean, you can get that in Google or Apple Maps too.
Yeah, but those. I'm talking about the precision. Now,
like Garmin and all that.
Yeah, but like the longitude, latitude stuff.
Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about too. Google Maps does that.
If you're going to do it, also, I guess put it next to something that can be easily identified, like a long term.
Can be removed.
Yeah, a long lasting landmark.
Like a 300-year-old tree that won't be cut down for its hardwood.
I mean, if it's tree, son of tree, that'll never get taken down.
Oh, yeah, here you go. Buy the property and deed it to the tree.
There you go.
Someone actually did that.
Yeah, that's how you get tree, son of tree. That is an actual thing. I don't remember where it is. I want to say
I don't either, but yeah, some guy bought the property, never wanted it destroyed, never wanted the tree cut down, and
the tree had such significance to him that he deeded the tree or the land to the tree. Now here's the thing. There was a storm that happened that caused the tree to fell. However, there was a surviving acorn that was then planted in that same spot and grew into a tree, thus being tree, son of tree. Because that acorn was the next of kin.
Right. And that is how you get a tree to be a living person.
Yep. That is how a tree owns itself and cannot be chopped down.
It is a free tree.
Yep. Anyways, back to topic at hand.
Back to the podcast.
But I mean, that if you want to make sure your landmark doesn't get taken away, yes, that is a way, quite a roundabout way, but a way to do so. If you plan on, now here's the thing when it comes to these static caches, if you're planning on leaving the area for a long time, if you're planning on leaving the area, take it with you. do not forget your static caches if you're not planning to come back to the area. I cannot stress how important that one is. I guess a bedside table drawer can be an okay place to have your sidearm so it's not out in the open. Don't have it under your pillow. Do not keep your Tracy'uur under your pillow.
Oh, but why not?
I know of several news articles that state how that is a bad idea. Because in their sleep, gun go boom, head go bye-bye. Or even worse, it goes off and in a direction that isn't safe and ends up hitting someone else. Oh, and if you're planning on hiding your Tracy'uurs, don't tell anyone. Do not tell anyone where they are. Because if you tell people where they're at, it's no longer hidden, thus defeating the purpose.
I mean, that's like basic OPSEC, right? Like, you know, you could pretty much do that with any of your preparations, I would recommend.
Mm-hmm. I actually do want to do a podcast in regards to safe housing, bunker building, I guess. That actually is.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad series to get into. I think that's more of a series idea.
Yeah. But I guess, I mean, unless y'all can think of anything extra to add to the storage.
Should we include things like mobile storage, like you see some of these vehicles that have been outfitted with their own like kind of firearm safes and so on?
Oh yeah, if you I would highly recommend it. Definitely, it is obviously going to cost you more, but if you can get a safe built into your vehicle, I highly recommend going for it. If you're going to have a Tracy'uur with you.
I've seen a few different types, like some that are like center console types. There's one that's a headrest.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen a few.
Oh yeah, there's several kinds out there. As you said, the headrest, the back window, gun rack looking one. I've seen one where... Mm-hmm. Yeah, back when there was very few ever heard of, shootings. Gee, I wonder why.
Because everybody had one in the back of their truck.
Exactly. But I digress.
Yes.
I've actually seen some where you can actually bolt it to the side of where the center console goes. If that makes... that way it's like kind of like right there next to your leg that you can just quickly grab. There are some that you can even attach to the door. Because a lot of vehicles nowadays have that like little cubby on the door that I know I used to when I was working security. I was actually have my gun out of holster stationed right there. Just because of how police can be, avoid the glove compartment to the best of your ability of keeping your Tracy'uurs there, because most people keep their insurance cards and whatnot there, though in this digital age you can easily have it on your phone. But I honestly feel as though having your Tracy'uur in your glove compartment is no longer a for your safety, a good place to have it.
Bless you. Bless you. Salud. You okay there?
Water tried to kill me.
Ah.
Remember, children, drink, swallow, breathe. It does not work if you get it out of order.
Drink, breathe, swallow?
Mm.
What about breathe, drink, swallow?
Well, clearly you're already breathing before you take a drink. But,
Yeah, I figured the person was gonna leave the party.
What other storage suggestions would y'all have?
I'm not saying that you have to, but separating the magazine and the firearm.
Oh.
More for long term and around the Adika.
Yes, and if you are doing long term, remove ammo from your mags. I know a lot of people say it's like, oh, it really doesn't do anything.
It will wear the spring out over time. It will.
The spring being compressed over time will actually affect it.
Then there's also, depending on what state you live in, if you're not a constitutional carry state, firearm in your vehicle, you have to have the rounds, the magazine, and the firearm separate.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's how it used to be in Tennessee before we became a constitutional.
I think very few places actually still have that. But
the separate.
Mm-hmm. The made ready access.
The only other thing I can think of is like when you're traveling. It's kind of a big deal over here, so like you got to go and like pack it in a separate set of luggage that's not on your carry-on, so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, be careful of that too. If you're traveling
yeah.
from a state that is constitutional to a state that's not.
Mm-hmm.
Even like, for example, going to Chicago or New York. If you're leaving from Memphis, Tennessee, which is you can bring your firearm with you onto the plane, not with you, but stored, locked, and sealed.
Mm-hmm.
Once you get to New York, be expecting your ass to get arrested.
Yes.
There are many people who go through that dilemma who end up in jail just because
even though they've called ahead to be like, hey.
It's like, hey, what do I need to do to bring this into the state?
And they follow it. They follow the TSA guidelines and everything. They call TSA in New York at the airport they're flying into. Follow their rules. Still get arrested.
There have been horror stories of people spending months in jail just by following the law.
Even if it was just a magazine, I mean just a magazine, nothing else, was just a magazine, arrested. And they declared it too. They called ahead saying, "Hey, I have this magazine that's coming with me in my luggage." Still got arrested, even though they did everything right.
Locked up in a case, not even on their person.
Mm-hmm.
Take me to jail.
Yep. That's why I have no
I'd
desire
argue
to...
that's almost entrapment.
That's exactly actually how they usually get out of it. Because they show to the judge, like, hey, I did A, B, C, D, X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
And yet I called them and asked them, those here at the state, everything. But I'm not going to get into politics.
No, we're already beating that dead horse.
Mm-hmm. We're going as far as we can to be like, hey, just be aware.
Yep.
Big reason why I don't have the desire to go to New York.
We are not legal advisors.
Nope, we are not lawyers.
Research, talk to the actual legal advisors.
Yep.
What we say is not law.
Do your own research. Get your own legal counsel.
Yes.
We only speak of what we have heard and have experienced ourselves.
In the immortal words of Sheev Palpatine, do it. But just don't take his other word of advice. I am the Senate.
Unlimited power. All jokes aside, I think we can move into training and proper use of a Tracy'uur OCW versus CCW.
One of the ups, trust me, I know the ups and downs of it, but the upside, I love to open carry. One, I don't have to have a permit to do that. And two, it is a great deterrent for someone wanting to mug you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, on the flip side of that, you also have the people who will target lock onto you because you're one of the people who will probably help defeat them.
It is a deterrent against those who wish to do harm. It is a target for those who wish to do harm.
Exactly.
But that is where your training of having situational awareness comes into about. Always have your head on a swivel. Be aware of your surroundings at all times. Yeah. I'm right there with you with open carry. One, I don't need a license. Two, I would rather be seen as a deterrent.
Right.
Now, our society has still got the stigma of they see someone with a gun. Scary, call the cops.
Right. It's like, oh no, he's gonna shoot me. It's like, more than likely, if he's open carrying, that's the last thing that's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying those who conceal carry are more likely to. That's not what I'm saying either. Because 90% of the people who conceal carry are like those who open carry. They just don't want to be seen as a target.
Mm-hmm. Do keep in mind that if you are going to carry, whether open or concealed, understand your laws on where you can and can't do so.
Courthouses, libraries, any kind of government building.
Schools. Church.
Church?
Yeah, like for Christians and whatnot, they can't carry firearms into church.
Yeah, they can.
No, they can't. It is illegal.
Tell some of the Christians I know because their church welcomes it.
Federally speaking, they're not supposed to.
Well, again, that's just going to say this once and then I'm dropping it. Separation of church and state.
That I can agree. But nonetheless, yeah, schools, you cannot have anywhere 51% is shown for that business obtains 51% or more of its profit margin from alcohol sales. Anywhere that sells alcohol is a good idea not to have with you. Here in Texas,
that should be a store, not a federal branch.
What?
Alcohol, tobacco, and firearms.
Oh, the alphabet soup.
Not a federal agency.
Oh, the alphabet soup. Yeah. But I was gonna say, shoot, I just lost my train of thought. Oh, here in Texas, we have 2 laws pertaining to open carry and concealed carry, and it's statutes 30-06 and 30-07. 30-06 being the carrying of a concealed weapon, and 30-07 the carrying of a open carried weapon are not permissible on locations with those. Like a business has the right to say no under these statutes. However, those statutes also are what allows one to open carry and concealed carry with license. Most places I know around my area tend to only have the 30-07 for the most part. I know most malls have both here in my area.
Your malls have what? Open or concealed carry?
Non-permissible.
Ah.
They do not allow...
That is true as well. Most malls will have the correct signage for no firearms.
Yeah.
I know local ones here are the same way.
Another sign to keep in mind is the for sure and call with the no symbol over it.
Yeah.
So that it is, but it isn't a valid sign. It's a weird, at least in my area, it's a weird legal situation. I mean, most places will have that plus the 30-06, 30-07 sign or the 51% sign with it.
I'm sorry, 30-06 sign? I've never seen that one.
The statue, well, it's the statue here in Texas. 30.06 is the statue in regards to concealed carry weapons. 30.07 is the statute pertaining to open carry weapons.
30-06 round.
Oh no, that's just honestly a funny happenstance. Quite honestly, I was like, when I was first learning about like gun laws here and whatnot, it was like 30-06. Got it. Concealed carry is the rifle round. Good on you.
I mean, it's an easy way to remember it.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, if you see a establishment that says pursuant statute 30-06, pursuant statute 30-07, most likely you're not going to be allowed to carry your firearm there. Now, it does typically have the actual statute in writing, both in my area being English and Spanish, because per law it has to be in the the most common languages spoken in the area. My area being English, Spanish. So just be advised of your local laws as well as traveling laws, because the laws do change from city to city as well.
Most commonly, you can get away with the state's law. But again, like you said, be aware of the city law too. That's going to be more where you're going to be going into than how you're doing.
In regards to proper use of your calls, learn the firearm safety rules. Do not point your Tracy'uur in a direction that is going to harm someone.
Or could potentially. It's
or
called flagging.
Yeah, train yourself not to be flagging someone. Keep your finger off the trigger till you're ready to shoot. Oh, we're not doing a round robin like I say, you say kind of thing?
What?
We're not doing a I say one, you say one kind of thing?
No, sorry, I'm,
Always know what's downrange.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm. Be aware of what's downrange, yep. This is coming from our keeper from up north.
From someone who is not in the States.
Mm-hmm. Which will be a good change of pace. If you have a misfire, do not Luke Skywalker it.
Hey, at least I didn't grab the thing next to it and actually do that.
I would have been like, treat every Tracy'uur as if it is loaded. Oh, excuse me.
Sorry, my arm's bugging me.
Mm-hmm. And of course, I know there are a few others. It's just been a bit since I've actually gone over them.
So let's see. Treat everyone as loaded. Always know what's downrange or on the other side of the wall.
Mm-hmm. Be aware. Be aware of what's downrange and past your target.
Laws. Local, state, federal laws. Let's see, what else?
I mean, respect your tool. That's always a thing.
If you can, get with other keepers in your area to do training and help one another if you can afford it. If you can afford it, find you a reputable, and I mean a real good reputable firearms instructor to learn how to do firearms shooting and drills. Well, that'll be an easy outtake.
Yeah. I wonder if it's the people returning my Pop-Tarts. Or at least the trash from them.
Maybe they didn't. They just tasted that soda and was like, ugh.
It's the neighbors. They're rolling out a car jack.
Mm-hmm.
So I know it's them. They got one of those 1-ton rolling jacks.
Mm-hmm. If you're going to open carry, make sure you're like, because here in Texas, you can either open carry with a hip holster or a underarm holster. Now, I personally prefer a thigh holster, personally, but if you're not get you one that falls within your local laws and is comfortable for you. If you're going to conceal carry, there are several options out there. Some are more comfortable than others. Do not just place your Huh?
Especially for bigger people. Go for comfort.
Mm-hmm. Do not just put your Tracy'uur in your waistband. Do not 8 Mile it. Just looking at you, guy, fellow brothers under the helm. I mean, ladies too.
I live in the ghetto. Why not?
I mostly look to men because men are more likely to do so. There are holsters out there that easy, and actually there are starting to be a lot more that are actually comfortable too, that they do go in the waistband, but they're actual holsters in the waistband, not just pulled in place. Oh, welcome in, Wood.
Mitten.
You are currently muted.
Yes, he is.
But talking is not required.
I will return in a second.
Got it. You're good.
All right.
If you are going to open carry, personal opinion, Zeldamore's personal opinion, get you a level 3 holster so that it is hard for someone to take your Tracy'uur away from you. A level 3 holster has 3 locking situations to it. 2 to 3. Tension and 2 finger locks, roughly. Another thing is, if you are going to carry, pick your Tracy'uur that is comfortable for you to use and meets the criteria of whether or not you are going to open or conceal. If you are going to conceal, yes, a compact is more desirable. Smaller frame makes it easier to hide. Do keep in mind, you ain't going to be shooting broadside of the barn very well. Granted, most engagements you're probably going to be interacting with is no more than what? 10 yards?
21.
I was going to say like 10 yards, 10, 15 yards.
That's why I was saying 21 meters, 21 yards is going to be the furthest.
Mm-hmm.
Average, anyways.
For any confrontation dealing with Tracy'uurs, yeah. Another thing to keep in mind is the 20 or 12 foot rule. Is it 12 foot or 20 foot rule for knives?
I know it is the 21 foot rule.
There you go. 21 foot rule. If your opponent is within 21 feet of you, best have your Tracy'uur out already.
Right.
Before they even got within that 21 feet, the moment they step anywhere close, you should have your Tracy'uur out and ready to use. Because within 21 feet, standard and this is something, train your draw. Do dry firing at home if you have to. There are actually cool little devices out there that will actually work with like Glocks, 6 hours, 1911s, so on and so forth, that will actually hook up to your phone or use your phone's camera on a target, and it's a little round, laser round, that when the firing pin hits it, it shoots the laser and it catches on the target. If you can afford them, I highly recommend getting them, because they do wonders. I remember when I had my Tracy'uur and I was doing private security, I would unload my firearm and I would do dry drills of drawing.
Definitely a good thing to do.
Simple.
Mm-hmm. The thing, and you want to make sure that you are doing it proper. So start out slow, getting the motion to be fluid, and then over time, doing it proper and right, you will naturally speed up without realizing it.
It's kind of like in martial arts where they say, slow is fluid, fluid equals speed.
Exactly.
Military's got it saying slow is fast is smooth.
Mm-hmm. I like the saying of proper practice prevents
poor performance.
No, that's prior planning.
Yeah, I was going to say that's the 6 P's.
Proper practice provides perfect performance.
Yeah, kind of interchangeable.
I've always known the other one to be more for planning purposes versus training, because you can train all you want, you can do all your dry draws and everything all you want, but if you're not doing it right and properly, you're building bad habits, and someone's going to get hurt.
Not wrong.
That is something that I learned many, many years ago. As we were saying, though, there are advantages and disadvantages from CCW and OCW. OCW, you're more of a deterrent, kind of more of a target. CCW, less of a deterrent, less of a target. Or less of a known target, I should say. Anything you guys got?
Not really. I think we pretty much covered the good stuff.
For training purposes, if you can get with fellow keepers in your area, this is something that we've gone over on a past podcast episode of talk with your police agency and be an ambassador of the way. Talk to them about who we are, what we do, and let them know, hey, we wish to more so do this with like the sheriff's department. They're more likely to be okay with this because the sheriffs can deputize people. And if you can get in good with the sheriffs, there is a possibility that you can talk to them in regards to setting up training, in regards to room clearing, active shooter situations, so on and so forth. Look, here's another thing. Look up your local, and this is going to be a sad thing to look up. Look up the shooting standards for qualification of your local law enforcement.
For the RCMP, it's 89.9%.
Oh no, I'm talking about like what
like
they're
Memphis Police or Austin PD.
Well, no, I'm talking about like they have to shoot so many rounds accurately within a certain distance and so on and so forth, kind of thing. Those shooting standards, kind of sad to say, having had to qualify on those for my level 3 security license.
Shut up, dummy.
They're not as high as people think. Honestly, anyone who's got any remote experience with a file, even just what's the word I'm looking for?
Qualify.
Proficiency.
Someone who shoots not like professionally or sports, just your average Joe that goes once a month to the range kind of thing, shoots maybe 100 rounds, if that. Most
Keyboard
likely.
warriors? Your keyboard warriors?
Nah, I wouldn't even say that, because I question some of those. Question whether or not some of those could even hit the broadside of a barn. Standing. Exactly. But sadly, even those, like, I didn't find it hard at all to meet the standard requirements. A family friend of mine used that standard just to be as an entry test for his gun safety class and gun training course. And he would have people shooting more proficient than our law enforcement, our local law enforcement. Keep in mind, if you are going to do shooting training, don't just practice static shooting. Move and shoot. Training is also important. Oh no, I'm talking about walking, moving, and shooting.
Dynamic shooting.
Dynamic shooting, yeah.
Which actually brings me up. That's something I was going to mention previously when to like types of training. Don't be scared to train in adverse conditions, raining, snow, whatever. And it's all going to just give you experience.
Yep. Do so in a safe environment, though.
Agreed.
Unfortunately, we don't have any ranges that aren't set up as lanes.
Nope.
Where we are.
They don't want you to do that.
Yeah.
Find you a good gun club.
If you can afford it.
If you can afford it, of course.
Yeah, I've been shopping around, and the only ones that I've found are indoor ranges.
Yeah, I would not recommend trying to do that kind of training on an indoor range whatsoever. Even if they did allow it, I would not feel safe, considering the backstops, how they're designed and everything.
Yeah. They're just sad. The one that is 5 minutes from my house is you get to shoot out of a 2 foot by 2 foot window. Yeah, that face right there is the same one that I made when I walked in.
No. If you cannot comfortably stand even in your shooting lane,
right,
turn right around and go back to where you came from.
Oh no, you get a 4 foot by 4 foot area to stand in, but it's only a 2 by 2 window that you get to shoot out of, and it's just sad.
No.
Yeah. So I drive the 40 minutes to the DNR range, where I can at least be outside.
Yeah.
Well, I've got a longer drive than that for the one where I can go to. Mine's closer to an hour.
Now, this training that I have been talking about personally is with handguns, predominantly, because, quite honestly, you're not. I mean, train with it, by all means, do so. But you're sure that you're mostly going to be reliant on is your handgun. It is going to be a very rare instance where you would be able to actually use your long rifle, unless you're already carrying it, or it is within arm's reach of you. Type situation. So keep in mind that when it comes to training, you're mostly going to be training your sidearm being your main.
Yep. Oh, getting back to your dry fire exercises, I dropped a link to the Mantis system.
I saw that.
Yeah, in the Beskar. So it's a nice little. It's on my wish list. I don't know if anybody else has that and would like to review it, but they're supposed to be some of the best.
It definitely looks. I mean, it's definitely pricey, but if I mean, how exactly does it work?
The laser that goes on the underbarrel.
That's the thing. It doesn't really look like it doesn't really look like a laser. Doesn't really look like a laser.
Well, I do have something in my Amazon list.
I think it's more of a oh, what's it called? It uses like gyroscopes maybe and like potentiometer to like determine like flutter and whatnot.
Yeah, I've got the
because I'm not really seeing a laser on it.
Training kit in my Amazon list. Currently unavailable though.
Yeah, those things are.
But it looks like it's $100. And this one is available.
I mean, $250 ain't bad considering what all I'm seeing.
Doesn't look like it's. Looks like this one's rifle though. Because it's got 223, 556, 30-06, 300 blackout, 762, 51. Yeah. The other one was pistol.
Yeah, the Mantis is for pistol. The one that I thought it was they have slides that go on. I have to look for it. Like it replaces your whole slide. I thought this one was that. The Mantis is supposed to be one of the better ones. I think that's why I picked that.
It looks like you like set up your phone to be the target, quote unquote.
Yeah.
And then the Mantis device itself, it clips underneath the barrel, presuming your Tracy'uur can even have it mounted. And then it uses what I can only presume as like potentiometers, gyroscopes, and whatnot to determine its position in accordance when aiming at the target. But train dynamic shooting, because that is going to be your most active situation if you ever have to use your Tracy'uur in a real life situation, is you don't want to stand still. You're asking to be a target.
You do not want to be a target.
No, you do. If you are going, I mean, you're going to be a target.
You don't want to be a wide open target.
Do not be an easy target and just stand there. Find you cover and move. Move and shoot. Train that with that. I understand ammunition is a bit pricey at the moment, but every time you go to the range, if you want to do a good training exercise, you're going to blow through about 1,000 rounds.
I don't know. The Viet Cong, they were limited in training to 3 bullets a day.
Who?
So you got the upper Viet Cong.
Oh, Viet Cong, yeah. I rather look at the French Special Forces. They had to have a gun specially designed for them because of the amount of rounds they go through just for training purposes.
Good Lord.
They initially were going with the 380 Special revolvers. They melted from the amount of rounds they were putting through them. They would melt the gun because of the built-up heat from them, from all the rounds they'd practice with shooting. And here I am only saying go through 1,000.
They probably go through that in a day.
They go through more than that.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. They go through that in a day, and then through a week they go through 10,000. I got the mute key before I sneezed. Go me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, bless you.
So what else do we need to cover? We want to actually cover the types of holsters, or did we do that?
We did not cover types of holsters.
So personally, I've got the thigh holster, like the Han Solo style, where it just sits down on my thigh instead of up on my hip because I'm a big guy. I've got the hip ones, and they work fine. Personally, I prefer the ones where, like, you've got the gun and you've got your pistol or sidearm, whatever your choice is, and you have to hit that little side piece, that locking, to be able to pull it out. I prefer those versus the cop style where you flip the buckle. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
I've thought about getting a underarm holster, like the good old 1920s cop detective. It's just chilling.
Oh, another thing when it comes to training, do it safely, but train at night as well, or in low light. That one I recommend using airsoft starting out.
Laser sights are definitely a plus for nighttime, even though it does kind of give away where you're at if you're trying to hide.
I would call that part of like adverse conditions training.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So quiet. Oh, I know why Aru's not here. Just realized that. That's why it's quiet.
Yeah, I was gonna say he was supposed to be here with wine, or no, it was supposed to be whiskey this week.
Mm.
I was saying go start drinking some mead. Ooh, speaking of that batch that I've got brewing, been in there for 2 months now. And then I started drinking some that's been aged for probably 3 or 4 months now. Ooh, that stuff's smooth. That was a good batch.
Oh, and the unit that I'm remembering is not the Special Forces of France. It's GIGN, their anti-terrorism.
Ah. And I've kind of run out of things to think. My brain's just...
I did say that I would recommend getting a level 3 holster if you're going to out of carry. Make sure your holsters, if you're going to out of carry or concealed carry, works in tandem with your armor that you wear. Keep in mind that you may have to change one or the other. I would say change your holster to fit with your armor, because
then changing the armor.
Yeah, your armor is more important. I mean, both are equally important, but does you no good to have your armor mold to your holster if it causes you to be less protected?
What else? In that case, we probably want to start wrapping it up, I guess.
I mean, we could always also go into Mando After Dark.
Yeah, I'm thinking I might call my mom and set up something to get dinner leftovers.
Okay.
Now my intestines have chilled out.
And that doesn't mean that anyone else here can't just enjoy the Mando After Hour.
That is correct as well.
Because, I mean, we've only been going for an hour and a half.
Which is about average for the topic session.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really have a lot to add on the topic because, Canada.
I mean, you'd be surprised.
Yeah, you poor bastard.
I mean, if it wasn't for, I'm pretty sure the healthcare system you're having is what you're needing at the moment, I'd say come on over.
It's definitely on one of my backup plans. I ain't gonna lie.
What, getting out of the country?
Speaking of, we have a VOD who is looking to move from the UK.
Yeah.
And we might be setting something up to help him do so.
Interesting.
Yes.
They might be able to immigrate under religious persecution.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Oh, we've got to be recognized for that.
Yeah, we do have to give full recognition for that, yes.
But I do believe that he's been looking into it for a while now, so it's not just a jump the gun kind of thing.
Definitely not trying to say that people that vote should come to America necessarily.
Got to get worldwide somehow.
Exactly, we do have to get worldwide. Some places it's harder.
Yes.
But there are ways to be in accordance to the way. While we do talk about Tracy'uur being the main personal weapon to have, there are others out there that still keep you within accordance of the second tenet of remain armed at all times. Or is that the first?
I mean, myself, I use blades.
Calls are a perfect example.
Yeah, I do too. I can't carry my knife.
Always got it on me. Now, one thing I will say when it comes to our tenets, when it says when not alone, if you are with family at your home, you can go about not having your Tracy'uur or your call on you.
When you are at home or alone, you do not have to be armed or armed.
If you are at home and only with family. If you have guests.
Well, I mean, inviting them into your home, those guests could be family. Not in the literal blood sense.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just always err on the side of caution, and
to my understanding, it is you are at home and amongst your immediate family. You're those living in the house.
Exactly.
That is how I understand that situation to be, where you can be disarmed.
And this is why I always, even at home, if I'm out in the living room where I'm going to be the one to answer the door, I've got my armor and a knife.
Mm-hmm.
Just so I'm in compliance with the tenants.
Yeah. I had something that I was gonna say.
Did it have anything to do with the message I sent?
What message did you send? No, it did not have anything to do with that.
I mean, what I use for the everyday carry is the Morphing Karambit from CRKT.
It's a good one.
Oops, sorry, puppy. Didn't mean to scare you.
I'm not too big of a fan of the Talon design, personally, but it does have its viability.
It's definitely a different application to like more of like, you know, a combat knife kind of fighting. Mm-hmm. I mean, it is a type of combat knife, but you catch what I'm meaning, right?
Yes.
Like, yeah, it's more it's for more close. It's more about hooking and slashing, like seems like tendons and arteries.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, a rather brutal move I was shown like via a demonstration was where you hook the eye socket.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, the eyes are a very vulnerable spot that if you can get to, do it. Remember, in a fight, there are no rules.
It's only fair for the person who wins.
Exactly.
If you're in a fair fight, you're doing something wrong.
If you're in a quote-unquote fair fight, you're at a sportings event.
I was just thinking the same thing. It's like, if you're fighting fair, there must be a ref.
Or just a fun night with the homies.
I actually ran it.
We don't talk about that one.
I actually ran into a situation where one of my fellow officers in private security had to deal with someone who, I don't know what martial arts it was. I am kidding you not. This person laid hands on my coworker and stepped back after landing a punch or something and said, "My point." My coworker was like, "What?" Yeah, my point was their response to his what. In that moment, my coworker was like, "This guy's stupid and he's getting put to the ground easy."
Right, now you're just teasing us, Dirge.
I can't touch it. Even if I wanted to.
Alright.
Sadly, it's more medicinal for me. Keeps the old PTSD and pain away.
Oh, you do you. I'm all for that. Especially medicinal use. Yeah, I'm completely okay with medicinal purposes.
I'm okay. I'm okay even if it's not.
I mean, I miss the days when fireworks used to be fun. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
I do know. Even just coming out of training, I used to work at Walmart, and every 4th of July, it just like clockwork, mortars start going off. I'm forgetting where I'm at and diving under the warehouse storage racks for cover.
Mm-hmm.
Hasn't been that bad in a few years now, but
yeah, you slowly acclimated.
Hell, even now,
and
neighborhood I live in, sorry, Wes, go ahead.
And stories like that are the reason why I don't set off fireworks anymore. I know you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no.
I'll participate in like firecrackers.
If I'm the one firing them off, there's no problem. But if I just randomly hear them outside and forget that it's 4th of July or something, or they're just randomly shooting them off
around that time period,
it's just like, okay, I'm at home. Alright, we're good.
I remember having an incident where I was doing, it's actually the one time that I actually had to draw down on someone. I was working a club event kind of out in the countryside and heard a pop. It was a very distinct pop that one could not.
Or it could only been one thing.
Yes, having been around Tracy'uurs for as long as I had been, I know the sound of a gun over a firework.
Yeah.
The moment it went off, I looked to my partner next to me and was like, gun. Immediately drew my sidearm and was telling people to hit the ground. Dude was flat out drunk off his ass, claiming two other guys were bothering him and pulled a gun on them. And I'm glad the guy let go because the only target I had on him was his head. And I knew, and he clearly was the one that had the main threat of the gun under his control.
The one who has it is the one that's going to get aimed at.
Mm-hmm. Yes, do keep that in mind if you ever have to use your Tracy'uur. First off, when everything is said and done, rats travel in pack. Keep that in mind. So as soon as you get the chance, call 911. Do not go into detail. This is advice from a lawyer that I have heard. Do not take my word. My word is secondhand. Do not go into detail if you have to use your Tracy'uurs. Say, it is okay to admit. Do what you can to avoid, for as long as you can, saying that you were the one that shot him. Do not say how many times you discharged your weapon, your Tracy'uurs. Ask for EMS and police immediately. And always remember center mass. I cannot stress how important it is, and there is a reason I say center mass versus, oh, just shoot him in the leg, shoot him in the arm. You risk the risk that trying to hit such a small target as a limb is not worth risking another's life. An innocent life, I should say.
On top of that, there's also, this is what I was taught in my permit carry class. You don't aim to wound, you aim to kill.
No. You don't aim to kill, you aim to stop the threat. That is what you say.
Just seems like it's a small moving target if you aim for the limbs or the head.
Exactly.
Try hitting that under stress.
If you're aiming for center mass and you happen to hit something else,
pray it's the target that you are aiming at and not an innocent.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Same target, just you aimed for center mass and
a philosophy that I have in my head when it comes to practicing: aim small, miss small.
Right.
If you aim for the smallest target on the largest area, you are least likely to miss the larger target.
I had thought aim for the nipple.
No. Center mass is right at the sternum.
Yeah, that's just what went through my head when you said that. Aim for the smallest target.
Now, that being said, you do not shoot. I'm not saying don't shoot to kill. You do not say that you shoot to kill. That being said, dead men tell no tales, but I am not giving legal advice.
That's why you just say you've pacified the situation. Yeah.
I have stopped the threat. I shoot to end the threat. That is what police use, and that is what numerous others are told by their lawyers, I have heard. You never say you shoot to kill.
Speaking of lawyers,
was if you shoot to wound, that can be taken as premeditated.
Mm-hmm.
But speaking of lawyers, I've also heard from lawyers to immediately ask for medical attention.
Mm-hmm. Immediately call for medical attention.
Immediately call for medical attention for not only the victim in the shooting or the target in the shooting.
All injuries.
But
anyone and everyone.
For yourself afterwards, because you're going to be under a high stress situation, you're going to be in shock, and you want to avoid saying or doing anything under distress.
And when the police get to you, you tell them, I am pleading the fifth. Speak to my lawyer.
Yes.
That is the first thing you say to them. You do not say anything else. You say, I wish to speak to my lawyer, and I plead the fifth, and then you stay quiet.
Shut the fuck up.
You answer any medical information from the EMS away from PD. Now, that being said, PD will relinquish you of your firearm.
And it'll be a long time before you see that again.
Yes.
Yep.
Now, granted, that kind of
it
does
makes
go
sense.
against...
It's part of securing the premises, you know.
It does technically go against our tenet of being... So it is a hard gray thing to talk about.
If I recall correctly, and I can't remember which sermon it was, they said that we are obliged to kind of cooperate with law enforcement.
With relinquishing of your weapons.
And then rearm as soon as possible afterwards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So
that was at first. One of those first two, whichever one deals with the staying armed.
I believe it's tenant. I think I said tenant number 2 earlier. I think it is tenant. It's actually tenant number 1.
Yeah.
Is to remain armed at all times. Yeah, tenant number 1 is remained armed. So, going into the tenant of forcibly disarmed, it's an opponent, an aggressor, taking your treasure, your call, whatever your weapon is, away from you.
Right.
Relinquishing your weapon to a person of authority, such as a police officer. Hey, welcome in, Haran.
Okay, so I'm gonna mute and def real quick, seeing as we're pretty much in the after hours now.
Alrighty.
And I'll be back in just a second.
Alright. Yeah, we are in the Mando after hours, still slightly touching base on the topics for today, but can be whatever topics that are okay to talk about for the most part. Any other random off the wall kind of topics as well.
What's your guys' favorite 9mm?
Favorite 9mm what?
Like, what's your favorite brand of 9mm to buy?
I don't know because I don't usually shoot 9.
For me, I'd say 9 and 45, probably better.
Ooh, you are very quiet, Haran. Like, you sound like your microphone's on the other side of the room. But yeah, as far as 9mm goes, I really don't have one because I really don't shoot 9mm. I've never owned a 9mm personally.
What's your go-to carry?
My go-to carry was a 6-hour P250 Defender, which was 40 cal.
See, just wondering if it was 40 or 45, but you're not a boomer. You're not going to scream 2 World Wars at.
Well, the cool thing about the P250 Defender was the fact that you could change between 9, 40, and 45 with just a barrel and a recoil spring swap out.
Is very handy.
Can you hear me now?
It is much better, yes.
I had to put it on the speaker.
Now you're roboting.
Speaker now.
Yeah, now you're roboting.
You're a robot, right?
I mean, you apparently did the Digi voice.
That you did.
Because, I mean, I do see that you are on your phone.
Did any of you ever like go up to the McDonald's drive-thru and pretend you have one of those voice box things for throat cancer? I do. It's kind of funny.
No, but now I want to.
I try to not fuck with the people that are making my food, just because, yeah, I'm sure that they spit in enough of people's food. I don't want to be that one.
I mean, it's only fair you do it back to them. Can't hear darn thing
I'd like
they're
to get a Big
saying.
Mac.
Well. I'd like a 10-piece McNugget.
Sparky gummy or arf.
Can I do it?
Ron's doing his woman's voice.
I'll do it, please.
Okay, Haran, tone it down a bit. This is still a podcast.
Podcast? Shoot, I do that at work.
Don't need people thinking we're doing something that we're not.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I could be, but, you know.
I literally could be right now, but I chose to hang out with you chuckleheads instead.
I mean, you make that sound like a bad thing.
I can't see shit, but yeah.
No, it's just, there are fun things that I could be doing other than sleeping with you guys. But it was worth it. I have what was that, Cakes? I just saw a flash of Cakes in the video chat, and it scared me.
It is the spoopy month.
Yeah, I'm dressed.
But what you got there, Dirge? It's a
Tiny little filter for my
cylinder.
smoking device.
I was gonna say it's a tiny little cylinder. Oh, you want to know what I actually find rather funny? Is they sell these little desk cannons. They look like a little miniature 6-pound cannon that can. It's like 3 inches long. It's this tiny little thing. But you can actually put in a little bit of gunpowder and light it. Damn. it does damage.
My buddy in elementary school, his dad had a bauxite cannon, I want to say, where you'd put in a little piece of metal and a drop of water, and it would explode. It wasn't sodium, because I remember it wasn't sodium, but it was some kind of metal, or it was a powder, and you put water in it, and it would explode. It was pretty cool, but I don't know if you could. I'm sure those kinds of things are illegal now.
You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised at what is legal and what is illegal. I mean, it's one of the reasons why, people say God bless Texas, being able to have a flamethrower legally and all that.
Yeah, but I live in Michigan.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I live in Canada.
Yeah, he's got it worse than I do.
We're talking crap about Michigan. Let's slap them.
Hey, I live here. I'm allowed to talk crap about Michigan.
I think he's referring to me when I said sorry to hear that. But come on, Michigan compared to Texas?
Yeah, but geographically, I'm just waiting for all the Texans to come up here.
Y'all can
when
keep
it's
your
too
snow.
Fucking hot.
You can keep your
Y'all
snow.
can. I've done blizzards. I've done tornadoes. I've done hurricanes. I've done earthquakes. I'll keep my snow, thank you. It's not that bad.
And I will keep my heat.
Oh, you can only take so much off. You can always put on another layer.
I'll still take my heat.
No, I'm too fat for all that.
Oof, roboting again. Hold on.
Yep.
Like, I chose a wonderful time to be going up to Navy basic training. Being December.
Yeah, you did get a good time of the year.
Welcome back.
Well, you could be in the Canadian Navy and then have to train in the middle of the country in the prairies to do some of your Navy qualifications.
That makes no sense.
Hilarious.
It's part of their flood mitigation and training. It's a whole thing. Like, so they have this facility. It's a complete mock-up of a ship inside and out, but they can like cause certain breaks and tears and stuff like that. And you have to learn how to use your wedges and your rags and all that stuff, and like clamps and all that, and a whole bunch of stuff. I think there's a bell clamp too, but that one seems like a pain in the ass more than anything.
Mm.
Oh yeah, be look forward to that.
Definitely be interesting.
I'll say I can get you in touch with my brother who went through Navy training.
I can just ask my dad.
Oh, that works too. That works too.
My dad's a retired chief.
Yeah, my brother was in a little bit more recent than your dad, I think, though.
Still went through the same area. Only difference is you don't get to do it. The drill instructors can't be sitting there yelling, calling you a maggot and all that, because you know it might hurt your feelings.
Yeah, fuck that shit. They're supposed to break you down.
Soldier is supposed to be broken. Soldier, sailor, marine, airman,
service member.
Thank you. I didn't have to say the other one.
The Guardians.
Is that really what they call themselves?
Yes, the Space Force is known as Guardians.
Oh, I wasn't
I
even
thought you were talking about
them.
Coast Guard.
I was talking about Coast Guard.
Oh no, that's the puddle jumpers.
Yeah, but they don't call themselves that.
I'm pretty sure.
No, but even civvies do.
Oh yeah, civvies do, because I mean they're no longer under DoD anyways. They're under Homeland Security.
Yep.
They don't get to call themselves proper military anymore.
Welcome to Good Burger. Can I take your order, please?
Takes poor internet.
Like a good burger, please.
All I'm seeing is a traveling little circle on his camera.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, I see a little bit of a face. Oh shit, there he is.
Does it work?
All I see is out of the blackness Haran's face. What is this, Five Nights at Freddy's now?
Yeah, he scared me earlier with it.
It looks like Zell might be frozen too. But it looks like maybe he was just concentrating on his phone for there.
Yeah, I was checking on something.
And that little traveling circle is apparently lights going across Haran's glasses. That's what I was seeing.
But you have a 9mm, right, Kadali?
Yeah, that's what I've got.
What
round? Next.
So Wes was asking, what's your brand of choice
for the round?
Yeah, like your brand.
Perfecta. Perfecta. It's a. I think Finochi made it, but back in, I'd say 2014, 2015-ish, new round came out at Walmart called Perfecta. And within a year, they put all that shit on rollback clearance. And when I tell you I bought 1,200 rounds for like $100, if not less. I mean, you're looking at 9mm now being what? Pretty much $1 a round, 25 cents to $1 a round.
Let me check that real quick.
I think that's the average. I know the larger calibers, it's closer to $1. So you're spending like $50 for 25 rounds of 9mm. I probably like $5 for 25 rounds.
Who's quacking?
Release the Quackin'!
Is that me?
Oh,
I know.
horse shit, it wasn't me. I know Zell, I see him watching this, like, oh, fucker's gonna do it again. Which one was it?
Oh, I'm already aware of who it might have been.
It wasn't me, actually. It wasn't me this time.
It
Was
was totally
not
West
me.
Coast.
Yeah, it was it was totally me as I was off screen checking ammo prices. So it's 20 cents a round for 9mm is the cheapest I found so far. But just that, and that's just like looking for 15 seconds. But I've been buying the Cellar and Bellet from the Czech Republic. It's
That's where I got my fourth light.
No, it stores really nice. It's got the smallest box and tray that I've ever seen on 9mm. So you can get, you know, a whole mess of it in your 50 cal cannons, as opposed to like 300 rounds with the like Blazer or something like that.
I saw that. I saw that, Cod Alley. You're not as slick as you think you are.
How fast that high move, just like I heard sound.
Oh, reflexes. Train your reflexes, everyone. Your response time is important.
And a fun game for situational awareness is the good old slug bug game.
Mm-hmm.
While you're driving.
Yep.
My girlfriend hates it.
Slug bug or out-of-state license plate.
Yep.
See, that doesn't count if you live on state lines.
No, it still does. You just gotta be aware of those that are more exotic, quote unquote.
Yeah, I'm talking about like Memphis, the ones from Arkansas, Mississippi, Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
Those three don't count. It's
Sure
got to
they
be
do.
something like Missouri or Georgia or California.
You're talking to someone from a military city. Sure they count.
Fun story about the slug bugs and bruiser cruisers, though.
Hold up. Bruiser cruisers?
PT cruisers, bruiser cruisers.
Yeah.
I have never heard of that one. Okay. That one I will say is new. I've never heard of a game with PT cruisers.
I mean, it's the same thing as slug bugs. They're just called bruiser cruisers. My brother, two of his friends growing up, would go out to Myrtle Beach to I don't know if it was a timeshare or they just owned a property out there on the beach.
Mm-hmm.
And one trip out there, they were playing the games, and my brother slugs their dad who is driving. And
Okay.
they just look at it like, the fuck did you just do?
That was always the rule: is you never slug the driver, unless you're mom.
Right. And that's because you missed the turn.
Mom never really played. My sister hated me though.
See, we just called it. Like
Mhm.
we'd say, yellow slug bug.
Yeah. Oh, my old buddy and roommate, he used to hate it all the time because when we'd be driving around and whatnot, even though I'm the driver, I see the bug. I wait a few seconds, see if he catches it, and I'll just do quick slug bug and just give a quick almost Charlie horse kind of hit to his thigh. And be like, slug bug. He's like, God dang it, where?
Son of a bitch.
And then I point to it, it's like right in front of us, darn near, and it's like, oh, you sorry sack of shit. I was like, don't make me go past the dealerships. I know where they.
That's the ones where they wouldn't count.
I know where they all are. Oh, they only count if you're not purposefully driving past them. If you happen to drive past them, that's another story.
Just drive past the VW dealer. Slug bug times 1,000.
Wham, wham, wham.
Come out with used to be white, now you're black and blue all over.
That reminds me of my first date.
Sounds like too much teeth.
Sounds like
Klingon cosplay goes wrong.
I was gonna say sounds like someone forgot the safe word.
Or they didn't make one.
Once again,
It's
someone
always
forgot
wet.
the safe word.
Well, you get
Always
jacked
red.
in the head a few times, you forget some things. That's all I'm gonna say.
Damn, she hit you that hard? Wow. Did you put a ring on it?
Did the ring stay on it? Oh, there goes her on connection, I bet.
Oof, probably. I think. Oh, I know where he's at right now. Then he's in a forested area that's rather dead zone. But I think.
I mean, I won't lie. There is something about a strong warrior woman, man. I'm telling you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, us Mando men, we like our strong women.
Yes, we do.
Indeed. I know my wife. She kicks my tail when I act out.
My
She
girlfriend
keeps me in
keeps
line.
me from acting out.
My wife
a good
keeps me in
job.
line. But
Kind of half tempted. I really want some fucking sweets right now. But I can't because fucking porch pirates.
Don't do it. It's not good for you.
I don't give a fuck. I'm already fat enough as it is.
Exactly. Be not fat.
here's a question for y'all. Being the month that we're in, what was your favorite candy?
Oh, almond
Weird
joys.
those little weird rocket tablets. I don't know why, as a kid, that was like the best.
Rocket tablets?
They have it's like a little clear thing. It's a bunch of these little pressed sugar tablets, and they got like a little picture of a rocket. I just can't remember the name of them.
Must be a Canadian thing.
Yeah. See if I can't find
Yeah,
it.
we have real candy here in America.
I mean,
No,
I'm
we
also
have
allergic to
diabetes
chocolate,
here in America.
so there's that.
I'd
So-
say bottle caps.
I was gonna say I know of Smarties.
I mean, the Popeye cigarettes were always a choice too.
Candy cigs are always a good choice. For me, it's anything
Yeah.
dark chocolate. I will go nuts over dark chocolate.
That's just itchy city for me, man. It sucks.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, man.
Take a Benadryl.
On the odd occasion, I do, but it sometimes doesn't work. And it's like watching a bear trying to like scratch its back on everything.
Ooh.
Oh,
There's a question for you. How often have you fought a bear?
I've not fought a bear. I've chased many off, and my grandpa can confirm I chased a mama bear up a tree away from her cubs, and she shot herself up the tree.
How the?
Wait a minute, that's supposed to be the other way around.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Let's just say I can be really aggressive.
In the mama bear's defense, she probably thought that was another mama bear chasing her.
That's an odd grizzly. What the fuck? Did you have a?
I thought it was a polar bear.
See, what I chalk it up to is I was kind of like in a bit of a building up urban area, or not urban, sorry, suburb. So I don't think she was in any kind of good health when she's taking her and her cubs around from garbage bin to garbage bin for an easy feed. So I wager it was more about she's there to look for food and not get in a confrontation, and she's probably sickly.
Survival.
Yeah. I mean, just don't be like that one bear that's itching its back on the post and gets slapped in the nuts with the rope.
I felt for that guy, man. Every dude's just like, oh.
I know y'all know which one I'm talking about.
yep.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
what's the...
They just like stumbling. He just stumbles walking away.
And then he starts sounding like Herbert. It's like, oh boy, I got some popsicles. I need to go lay on them.
They're just stumbling. You can tell he's just like, oh yeah, I know that feeling.
He's like, I feel for you, man.
It's like, ooh, that got the
Okay,
tip.
now I want to know which one do y'all think is worse? The bear getting slapped in the nuts with that string rope, or the guy who's using the stretch cord, the exercise band? It slips off of his foot. It gives him a vasectomy, and he farts. That one.
Oh, the worst is when you see the full video because his dad walks in and gives him this disgusted, disappointed look and just like walks away.
Which one's worse, that bear or that one?
I would have to say the situation entirely would have to go to this number 2 because of the disappointment. Like the bear was bad. Relatable. It's like, oh, I'm so.
Like we've been there, man. We've gotten that.
That second one, though, the look of disappointment. Exactly.
That's right up there with we're not mad, we're just disappointed.
Right. It's like you thought
as a father,
a good idea.
It's one of those things that it's the greatest thing to pull out when you need to. I'm not even mad. I expect
it hurts
more from you.
More to hear either parent is disappointed. It's one thing for them to be mad, but disappointment is
like, are you
such.
Actually mine?
No. Disappointment is more than just are you really mine? No. Disappointment is a core shattering pain to
you
hear
know you
your
messed
parents.
up when you get that weird disappointed hole.
You just do.
Because then there's no good cop, bad cop. It's all just bad cop.
It's all.
Besides those, one of my go-to laugh videos is the kid who is hiding in the recycle bin, trying to scare his dad. Dad lifts up the trash bin, the recycle bin lid, and just yeets an entire recycle bag full of bottles, glass bottles on top of him. So you see this terrified kid go from, yeah, I'm scared, oh shit.
I have seen one of those videos of person did appear. It's hard to tell if the person even realized they were in there when because they were like in mid motion of putting the trash bag, like swinging the trash back in.
You're talking about the same one I'm talking about.
I don't think it was a dad. The one I'm talking about, I don't think it was a dad.
I know there's one involving a high school where like they're interviewing some kid and this kid jumps out of one of those recycling bins and then it just gets like cold knocked out. That was a funny one to watch.
Another funny one is where they get throat chopped.
Yeah.
Or wife's reactions gone wrong. That's a great one.
I don't know. I've been watching a lot of Habitual Line Crosser.
Oh, yeah. It's going to get good.
You should check out the Unsubscribe podcast as well. They do a lot of
Angry Cops, Fat Electrician, and
Yep. I just saw them do that. It was a lot of fun.
Not sponsored, by the way, listeners.
No. But still fucking hilarious stuff. Quack bang out.
Did you see the explanation for that?
The quack bang?
For the quack bang.
Yeah.
It blew my mind. I think, that was one of the smartest things I've ever heard come out of the military. Like, other than, yeeting a nuclear missile across, up and out of space, that's pretty cool, and pretty smart. But that whole principle of them going, what is that? And having to reassess the situation, and that causes the same, it's just like a flashbang would be.
Okay, I'm gonna need you to send me that a link to that video so I can hear that.
Wait, are you talking about the stackable grenade that the U.S. Marines were testing for a little while there? So they used a concept of overpressure as opposed to a direct explosive force, where you could like stack like 3 or 4 grenades together and make it like basically, a spear you throw and go kaboom.
No, I was talking about quack bang grenades. I'll have to find it and send it to Zell. But there was a guy that in either Iraq or Afghanistan, they would throw in a rubber duck instead of a flashbang.
Flashbang.
And you have to stop and go, what the fuck is that? And it worked just like stunning the guy with a grenade.
You want to know something funny?
Yes.
There is I'm guessing a mod for quack bang grenades on Steam for Arma 3.
This makes me laugh. Ducky out.
Quack bang out.
Oh, have you?
Quackler at work.
Oh, I found it. I found the one I was looking for.
Have y'all heard?
Ago.
Have y'all heard of no panic button, calm down?
I found it. This shit getting shared right now. Cantina.
Okay, yeah, I have seen that one, but that's not the one that I was referring to.
I can watch that one for hours.
Mm-hmm.
I've just been laughing so fucking hard.
Well, I think we've been going for
fucking carrot just keeps tossing on top of it. It's like already mid-throw. The kid has bad timing there.
Mm-hmm. I think,
There, I just dropped something for you guys in Cantina. Check out that video. Okay. That sounds like some fun.
Oh yeah, those things are actually really cool. They're an interesting.
Or OODA loop is what he was talking, or what I was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I dropped a video in there for you.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh look, it's King. Yeah, so there you go. But I think it is bedtime.
Yeah. Thank y'all for listening in to this week's episode of, or this bi-weekly episode of the Mandalorian Keepers of the Way podcast. Do make sure to check us out on our link tree, where you'll find access to our Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Discord server. These podcasts are recorded on the Discord server, so if you join that, you're more than welcome to come and join us in the discussions. We're still a growing community. TikTok.
Feel free to leave comments on the podcast. We would love to have those as well.
We are going to be starting to look at those more regularly, because we always wish to know how we can improve. What do you guys like? What do you not like? Do check us out. We also have our Patreon that goes towards supporting the Way of the Mandalorian religious movement.
Or for legal fees and stuff at the moment.
Yeah, currently it is for legal fees at the moment. Trying to see about possibly getting these uploaded to YouTube still, when my brain and life allows me to properly remember to reach out about that.
I see someone copying me.
Oh, he's been doing that all.
Yeah, he was doing it for you. You're copying.
I was gonna say, you're copying him at this point.
Hey, I mean, I did just get off work, so.
I mean,
excuses.
Fun fact: I used to be a cannabis judge.
But
I just want my fucking Pop-Tarts.
What?
Like, I'm not even doing what they're doing, but I want the fucking Pop-Tarts.
Pop-Tarts. But what's going to be next episode's topic?
Let's go up into Cantina. I found that pin I was looking for, by the way. It turns out it was up there.
Mm-hmm. Well, I repinned it after the podcast or Mandoa.
It's looking past. All right, there it is. So we've done Tracy'uur. We've done Basics for Life. We did the dad jokes. That's what she said. So we've got the Talk to Allure, Joe Hassad, and Armor. And Own Your Own Tank.
Which I'm surprised is still sitting at 1. Granted, it is way up there, so.
I want to know who did it. Oh, it was my reaction just by putting the reaction up there. So no one wants to hear about it but me.
I mean, I don't think when it comes to these topics, our voices being the hosts should really count all that much.
Especially when you're the one putting the reaction on there for people to put the reaction to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I kind of always have wanted to own my own tank, but I don't think it would work where I'm living currently.
You'd be surprised. Like,
Last I checked, I seen a M3 Stewart for, I think it was, 15,000 last time I seen one.
Yeah, sounds about right. Surprisingly.
The one I bought is
really
kind of old and it's really weird. It's called the Ferret, or at least that's the nickname. Anyways, it's from England, but it's kind of trippy.
Completely off topic. My neighbor is getting their car repoed right now, and all I can think of is, hooray! I get another parking spot.
As fucked up as it is, I can see your point.
Let's.
Well, they've got 3 cars.
Spot closer. Well, apparently my father has taken to making his own springs now.
For what?
I don't know.
Springs?
Well, whatever little project he's working on, it's not anything like heavy duty. It's not heavy duty springs. It's more like small things.
If you ever take one of the toilet paper thingamajiggers that holds the toilet paper roll, you squish it together, you throw it up in the air, and right as you let go, it pushes off your finger. Those things fly around.
Mm-hmm. So I'm looking at.
Oh yeah, I know.
An auction. I'm not sure exactly what year, but there was an auction for an M3 Stewart light tank, 1941, sold for $176,000.
See if there's a was it F4? No, I'm sorry, not F14. Whatever that jet was, that $80 million jet, is it's still up there for sale? Did they find it and post it?
Are you talking about the F-35?
Yeah.
I have no idea. Or are you asking how much an F-35 Lightning costs?
Yeah, see if we can find it on YouTube. Or not YouTube, eBay. It's like slightly used, one pilot, found in the Virginia wilderness. Cash offers only.
So without
Surge
the,
is what you're gonna have to put up with when he leaves.
So without the Pratt & Whitney F135 engine, a single unit of the F-35 Lightning on average is about 75 million a copy. With it, achieved a unit cost of below $80 million per jet. So, but
guys, I'm gonna cut and run. Thank you for all.
I digress.
Yeah.
We're going
everything.
I'm probably gonna go get
This
shorts
is Zalnamore. Take care. Stay armed. Stay armored. Ebikruni.
This is Godly Keyboard for talking over Zell. I'm so sorry, man. Ebikruni.